They're trying to act like someone's near me. Because they don't know if I'm leaving the house or not today. Or in my apartment. So they start trying to, they'll make a lot of loud noises that they know I'll hear. They try to pretend that I'm a part of that experience, and meanwhile, none of them are anywhere near me. When all that outside stuff failed, like I only captured a little bit of it, but when they failed, they began to get loud in the apartment beneath me. One of the agents is whispering, she got people looking at how we do stuff with kids, or as kids. They kept talking yesterday. It was so random and out of context. Because somebody back to dancing. They've been talking about me like I've been a dancer for, it's crazy. They act like I ain't never held a job. They don't say that I danced for a day and quit on 2 different occasions. They don't say when I did dance that I only danced for a month. And these hoes make a lifetime out of dancing. Like, it's crazy. And they had it on the internet and they removed the video. Because can't nobody show up and say nothing. I don't got no skeletons. So anyhow, she was just talking. They orchestrated a dream with strippers and they were mad because they said how I look at them like they just don't have worth or something. And they didn't put their favorite identities in it. They put their favorite filthy identities in it. Oh, and another thing, when I danced, no one knew. No one ever knew. So it's crazy that you don't believe, like my brother tried to make an innuendo about it. This Asian chick that was hanging away in Georgia, she tried to make an innuendo about it just out of nowhere. And this is why we were on our way to New Orleans for the New Year. So when I made that video about it on the internet, no one would have never known until they came across it. That's information no one would have ever known, been able to tell you until they came across it. Oh my goodness, just be riding by with these boxes. So anyhow, Who the fuck? That's ridiculous. It's actually the car up the street. I thought it was like one of those things on the box. I mean, things on the bike with a box. Because sometimes they ride and they'll stop right in front of my door. And sometimes they throw the sound like that up there. Sometimes they throw it to where it seems like it's just right outside my window. But anyhow, the they were mad because I didn't get them nothing to leave them with nothing to tell. They were mad because I didn't leave them with nothing to tell. And the truth is, like, after I seen them pull that stunt with Detective Sutton and my brother, I was over it. Let me tell you something. They'll tell a lie. They'll show up acting like they knowing something they don't know. Show up acting like they did something they didn't do. And cover their bases because they own them. So when we were in court and he under oath, he acting like he just talked to the detective I was supposed to be staying with. And I'm looking like, who that's talking about they want to marry me will be talking to this nigga about anything? Like, that's the type of shit, like, and how did he know to call him? Oh, it was the flyer or something. He seen the flyer. So he said he talked to him. That was it. He just claimed that he talked to him. And that they don't know where this is coming from. Ignorant as fuck. Playing stupid. That's the devil. So, your motherfucking behavior, bitch. It's always your behavior. Behavior is where it's coming from. Anyhow, she ain't challenge it. She ain't having him call him up or nothing. And because I was out with the situation, I didn't follow up, but I've seen him do something suspect before. You know, like on my brother's Facebook page, when a particular demon shows up, it shows itself. Every version of itself, love, no matter how flawed it is. And I seen him show him love like a year prior. I'm looking like, why in the fuck? And it's weird. It's like they forget that they never had anything to do with him and only knew of him through me. Or you get what I'm saying? Like, when they mess your relationships up, a guy that you've dated will now, it's like they'll cross you out crawls. Like, these are, I can't even, well, I can't explain it, but it's not worth it. I'm not talking about that today. Oh, wow. I did not even know that this video was still recording. So, on the topic of my brother, because that's been a topic, I've been going for like 10, 15 minutes. That's been a topic all morning, really. Well, not all morning, but it's been about a fourth of the topics. So, anyhow, on the case of him, he's mad because I know who he is. And he wants to be, well, he's not. The demon, that is, the demon using an identity. And of course, in order to do that, it wants to be me. So, like, check this out. Am I putting this online? I guess I am. Like, I am, but I ain't. I'm putting it online, but I'm not going to make it public till I get out of jail. So it'll be like, not even a blooper. Like, I don't know what to call it. So anyhow, and so let's, for example, He couldn't build muscle. Super skinny guy. I had all the pictures of that. He couldn't be monogamous. Um, he just could not. Like, he's the type of person that will fuck his cousin's girlfriend or wife. Like, and he'll fuck your bitch right underneath your nose. And it was then in that moment that I realized like he was really trying to get his Satan on. But it was also then in that moment that I was like, he almost got killed over that. You know, like if I had not pulled in and followed him at the gas station, the Circle K, like Danny was gonna kill him. I seen him put his pistol back in his car. So, you know, I probably shouldn't have intervened. Like, if I would have ever known that it was going to cause me all these problems, that it would be like the primary instrument in all the problems that I'm having today with the government, if I knew that they were going to use him in that way, I'd have let his ass die. I don't play that shit. You ain't even supposed to be in the family anyhow. So, so now, so check this out. No, I didn't even really do in my 20s. Look, the agent talking. I didn't even do what I encouraged people to do with their 20s, what they were supposed to do. Try it out. Like, just, you know, date and try things and don't settle down and don't get married is what I was telling folks. But I was stuck in engagements my entire 20s. I did what I was supposed to, like, between 15 and 16. Honestly, like, as soon as I started, maybe 16 and 17. So as soon as I already talked about this, as soon as I started messing with the officer and the firefighter, like it was out for all the other guys, and before them it was the college guy. So the bitch that showed up next door that was talking about she done fucked everybody else. I don't know why she acting like she don't want to fuck him. That bitch trying to put me at like 15, 16. I'm 36 fucking years old. I'm gonna drag that hoe. That was also the bitch that said, "Oh, what? She the Virgin Mary?" They gonna have to give her up. I didn't even know that type of ignorance still exists. I didn't know that there were still black people that didn't know that all of history was whitewashed. I did not know that. So yeah, and I've always been in a steady relationship, but you would like every you know, you can tell when someone's trying to look at you for the opposite of what they see. So when it's like personal growth, when you like naturally grow into something, a way and a behavior, that's one thing. But when you just jump out of something into another, that's suspect. So these motherfuckers was acting like they ain't. I'm telling you. When we look at my life, when I have the government show you my life and how I lived, when I force them to show it, and when I force them to show the things they've done as my relatives throughout the years, just unwarranted stupid shit that I was looking over because I cared about them. I'm telling you. Oh, that's if y'all get to see it, because Killer Karanji was supposed to wipe y'all out like 6 months ago. I might just end up showing all this stuff to my offspring. Like, once I get rid of once I destroy the planet. Once I destroy the planet, because I'm not having none of this projects and neighborhoods and they're fatiguing my arm. And all these different type of aliens and ignorance. Docile, just ignorant as fuck. Like, these motherfuckers is dumb as fuck. And they will sit there and watch a magic trick, and if someone came up and said, you know, a magic trick was used against me before I'm being attacked by the government. They ain't gonna want to hear nothing about. They will not even entertain it. So the same motherfuckers that's acting like they enjoy these phenomena, if you tell them you're being attacked with it, they're gonna ignore it. They're gonna say that they're fearful and call it witchcraft. But bitch, you will watch a trick. And you watching all these vampire TV shows and everything else that they got on, all the other programs that they got on TV. Ain't nothing on TV good. Um, but that's a humbug. Those are evil and deceitful spirits. First of all, you ain't even able to convey fear. Like, you're not able to convey perception either. You're not able to convey empathy or sympathy. But these are all the things that all the qualities, all the characteristics and traits that you're acting like you have. So we're talking about soccer mom Susan. Okay, that's just like, oh, Timmy, like, I don't know why. You know what? Come here. I just love you so much. We'll go get you some new ones tomorrow. That bitch. She's not even to convey those expressions. It's a humbug. It's a humbug. Hold on. So as I was in there talking about mixed monsters and kids and, and how the same guys that be screaming my kid, be violating their ear gates, and if they were to go to jail, they'd be so happy that they were without them. Like, as I was in there and I was talking about that, or thinking about that, it was like a remote argument. They were antagonizing and attacking me, and those are the things that I was saying back. And I came in here to make this video to say, I went to say nigger, and I was like, and I never even used to use the word nigga. Like, I was the one always reprimanding folks about using that word. Especially when I would see somebody use it with their kid. But now that I know who all of you are, like, it's not even that. It's a fitting expression for the type of folks that I'm discussing. The type of demons that I'm discussing. Because, they play... Let me tell you something. Okay, so most of y'all are somewhat biblically in tune. So you know that there's 144,000 of Satan's elect. And you wouldn't have identified Satan's elect. You would have otherwise identified Satan's elect as God. You'd have been like God's chosen. 144,000. But now you know that your God is a genetic engineer. It's governmental ordinance departments. And so you realize that is just the devil. Is allegory. They're operating under one thing posing as another. So when you do the math, the population is like 7.3 billion. It was about that last time I checked. Makes you wonder where the hell these babies are going to. Because, these hoes are pushing them out like it's crazy all over the world. On Instagram, that's all I see in my feed. In the media, like when I check the news, that's all I see. It's crazy. These aliens are still pushing out babies. And I told them last year to stop having kids. Because they can't have them on their own. Can't none of y'all give birth on y'all own. No one in this world can give birth on their own. All your births are dependent upon science. So, 7.3 billion. And I'm like, you divide 144,000 into that, and that's like 50,496 or 649 or 694, maybe 694. So, if each agent is responsible You got to understand, when you put it in them kind of numbers, it makes the population extremely manageable. That's like a small town. 50,000, that's a small town, that's nothing. So when you further break that down, of course, Satan's elect have governmental agencies that they're operating through. It's alien hierarchy. So when you break 50,000 down into, I don't know, whatever, you know, the number just continues to get smaller and smaller and more manageable and more manageable. It's very manageable. What the government is doing as far as surveillance and modern day genocide is manageable. Like, they're not over capacity, you know, like or undercapacitated, you know, with like carrying out this vendetta, I mean this agenda, and they they're doing this effortlessly, and they're able to be in more than one place at once. It's just like the picture and movie or the film industry. It's just like that. They put all their stunts in movies. So the Matrix, for example, being in more than one place, um, replicating this, that's also those numbers that I gave: 7.3 billion, 144,000, 50,694. That's an example of how Satanists replicate themselves by putting their characteristics and traits in you, and so you don't look like a complete genetic expression of them. They make you up with the God particle. And you're escaping congenital inheritance. Like, you're supposed to be handicapped because you can't develop a pineal gland. So that's what it is. Now they're talking about the little white guys that were in my military units, and they were kind of doing a poll, like, you know, who would be surprised and who would not. You know, this is the type of information that I disclosed, and they were talking like the one, like one during they'd be like, not surprised, not surprised, not surprised. No, like, it was not like she didn't like us, but we could tell that she found something odd about us, and that so they're not surprised that I disclosed this type of information. And they were talking about my character and it just being like, you know, a ridiculous balance, I guess. Like, to be so joyful, so stern, and so smart at the same time. We weren't used to that. But back to this white guy thing. The thought came up. And it was actually one that I meant to mention beforehand, but I couldn't. Those are fried ribs. So I couldn't remember. I couldn't find an appropriate place to put it, but I was saying, like, when I dated a white guy, when I did date white guys, you know, they had to pretty much almost hate their own kind in order to be with me. So it's not like, you know, not your typical situation. And we always start off as friends. I hate French creatures. get out of jail. And this is not jail. I'm talking about real jail with cuffs and bars, bitch. They're trying to manipulate reality. They said, why is she giving people her recipes? They're spying. You can see there's no one in the room with me right now, and this is the type of stuff that they're doing with artificial intelligence. And then they'll drop something like this right in someone's head. I'm talking about, I saw a bitch that couldn't do nothing but burn food. Like, they were mad because I was cooking for her grandpa. And they began laying curses, talking about how they were going to pretty much give her my recipes and claim that I taught her. And suddenly, the bitch was making food that wasn't burned. Her grandpa even noted it. They put it right in her head. Uh-oh. The guy is losing his mind. He said, do you see what's about to happen? Oh man, this is 30 minutes. I probably should stop this, or I'm gonna have to, Oh no. Oh good, it's still recording. Can't believe it. They're talking about the demons, those that they're working with, those that they're giving identities to. They know the type of stuff that they do, and they're looking at them like, who does something to someone that tells everything? No, bitch. You're not gonna be calling me schizophrenic ever. Especially for some shit that's easily explained. I'm gonna kill your ass, and that's gonna be it. Word gonna get out. Dun dun. It's so pretty outside. It's the weather. It was just real windy a second ago. I'm gonna go sit outside. Last night I sat out for a couple hours, on and off. Every time I left out my door, came in my door, they were suggesting I was somewhere else. Meanwhile, I had on stuff that I don't go out in. So, they were talking about APD passing by. They've been getting stalking me. But that's not what I was supposed to talk about. I said